Today we will be discussing a lesson for fourth graders to determine the main idea and author's purpose through a Dr. Seuss skit. The ELA standard is determine how the author uses words and phrases to shape and clarify meaning. The theater standard is I can identify basic plot elements from a prompt. The overall I can statement is I can recognize the main idea and author's purpose from the story being shown. At the beginning of the class, I would ask the class for open discussion. Who can tell me what a main idea and author's purpose is? What is a main idea?
The main idea is usually at the beginning of a story, and usually it's about, tells what the story is about.
What is an author's purpose?
The author's purpose is for what the author wants you to get out of the story that you're reading.
After having a class discussion about the main idea and author's purpose, I would split the class up into groups and they will begin to read the script of all the places you'll go. My practice group is a group of 3, so reader 1 was also reader 4 and reader 2 was also reader 5. And this is what it would look like in their groups as they read.
Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away.
You have brains in your head.
You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose.
You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the guy who'll decide where to go.
You'll look up and down streets, look 'em over with care. About some you will say, I don't choose to go there.
With your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet, you're too smart to go down any not-so-good street.
Now, you may not find any you'll want to go down. In that case, of course, you'll head straight out of town.
It's opener there in a wide open air.
Out there things can happen and frequently do to people as brainy and footsy as you. And then things start to happen. Don't worry, don't stew.
Just go right along, you'll start happening too.
Oh, the places you'll go. You'll be on your way up.
You'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar to high heights.
You won't lag behind because you'll have the speed. You'll pass the whole gang and you'll soon take the lead.
Wherever you fly, you'll be the best of best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest.
Except when you don't, because sometimes you won't.
I'm sorry to say, but sadly, it's true. Bang-ups and hang-ups can happen to you.
You can get all hung up in a prickly perch, and your gang will fly on. You'll be left in a lurch.
You'll come down for the lunch with an unpleasant bump. And the chances are then you'll be in a slump.
And when you're in a slump, you're not in for much fun. Unslumping yourself is not easily done.
You will come to a place where the streets are not marked. Some windows are lighted, but mostly they're dark.
A place you can sprain both your elbow and chin. Don't you dare stay out. Don't you dare go in. How much can you lose? How much can you win?
And if you go in, should you turn left or right 3/4, or maybe not quite?
Or go around back and sneak in from behind? Simple it's not, I'm afraid you'll find, for a mind maker upper to make up his mind.
You can get so confused that you'll start in a race down long wiggly roads at a breaknecking pace and grind on the miles crossed weirdish wild space headed a fear toward most unless places.
The waiting place.
For people just waiting.
Waiting for a train to go, or a bus to come, or a plane to go,
or the mail to come, or the rain to go,
or the phone to ring, or the snow to snow,
or waiting around for just a yes or a no.
or waiting for their hair to grow.
Everyone is just waiting. Waiting for the fish to bite, waiting for the wind to fly a kite, or waiting around for Friday night.
Or waiting perhaps for their Uncle Jake, or a pot to boil, or a better break.
Or a string of pearls, or a pair of pants, or a wig of curls, or another chance. Everyone is just waiting. No, that's not for you.
Somehow you escape all that waiting and staying. You'll find the bright places where boom bands are playing.
With banner flip-flapping, once more you'll ride high, ready for anything under the sky. Ready because you're that kind of a guy.
Oh, the places you'll go. There is fun to be done. There are points to be scored. There are games to be won.
And the magical things you can do with that ball will make you the winningest winner of all.
Fame. You'll be the famous as famous can be, with the whole wide world watching you win on TV.
Except when you don't, because sometimes they won't.
I'm afraid that sometimes you'll play lonely games too. Games you can't win because you'll play against you.
All alone.
Whether you like it or not, alone will be something. You'll be quite a lot.
And when you're alone, there's a very good chance you'll meet things that scare you right out your pants.
There are some down the road between hither and yon that can scare you so much you won't want to go on.
But on you will go, so the weather be foul. On you will go, though your enemies prowl. On will go thou, the heckin' cracks howl.
Onward up many frightening creek, though your arms may get sore and your sneakers may leak.
On and on you will hike. And I know you'll hike far and face up to your problems, whatever they are.
You'll get mixed up, of course, as you already know.
You'll get mixed up with many strange birds as you go.
So be sure when you step with care and great tact. And remember that life's a great balancing act.
Just never forget to be dexterous and drift. And never mix up your right foot with your left.
And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98.5% guaranteed.
Kids, you'll move the mountains. So, be your name be Buxom or Bixby or Bray or Malachi and Bosisi or Shay? You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountains are waiting, so get on your way.
After they are done with their skit, they will have 2 minutes in their groups to discuss what they thought the author's purpose and the main idea of the skit was. Then after that, we would have a group discussion of what we thought it was. And that would take about 5 minutes. Good.
I think the story dealt with in your life, there'll be many things, challenges, and things that you're going to be faced with. You're going to have to overcome them and just do the best that you can do.
I think it talks about how sometimes you can be alone, but it teaches you how to learn how to handle being alone and the things you can do while you're by yourself.
It also is explaining how you're going to have decisions you have to make, and you may not always make perfect decisions, but those are decisions that you have to make and deal with, and the consequences of those decisions that you make.
There'll also be times that you're in challenges up against other people, and you got to learn that you're not always going to be the one that wins, even though you do give your best. you still not always going to be the winner and come out on top, but to be able to accept the best that you can do.
Life throws you changes that you might not understand. You might not know why it's doing it to you, but there's always a purpose. And God always has a plan for what you have to do.
And there's always going to be high times in your life, and there's also going to be slumps. And there's going to be bumps along the way when you're coming out of those slumps, as the author was stating. But it's never going to stay steady throughout life all the time. There's ups and downs.
And I think it talks about ages. Just because you're young doesn't mean you're not going to have times that you have bumps and you have things that happen that's not good, or there's always going to be good times. But it also affects you as an adult as you get older. And I think that this is a child's book that's teaching you to begin from there and as you grow older.
The props that the class used, you can't really tell in the video, but they had their cat and hat hats, but it was their Dr. Seuss hats. And it was their favorite Dr. Seuss book. And why? Because this lesson was planned for Dr. Seuss week in March.